What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Mike Best Bodybuilding Show, brought to you by Pro Sups and Independence Gym. I'm sitting here on a Sunday afternoon having a little fun day with Arizona's own and new IFBB Pro, Amber Crowder. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I want to just take a second. First and foremost, I want to congratulate you, because it's awesome that another pro from AZ is out and coming out in our state. We kind of talked on it just a little bit, but the state's putting out pros left and right. I've seen Amber now the last, I don't know, probably three years or so. I think I seen her at the Western Regional, which we both did. We were both involved with Scott Hutchinson and what he had going on with a little bit of sponsorships and stuff. But I remember when you came out for the Western Regional, and at that point, I don't know how long you've been involved into the sport, but...
Right, I've been competing. I did my first show in 2008.
Okay.
And I kind of focused on, doing like one show a year, because I know it's really hard on the body,
right.
So, started off then, did another show in 2009, and then decided, to step it up a notch, and met Patrick Hughes, is my coach now, and been with him for about 3 years.
And where's Patrick out of? He's not out of Arizona, is he? Or?
He is.
Oh, he is, cool.
He is. He is at One Stop Nutrition.
Oh, okay.
On Elm School in Elliott. So
Nice.
that's where I go to see him. I do my own personal training and stuff like that myself.
Right,
so
but he does your nutrition side of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys, and I don't know Patrick on a personal level or not, but the physique that he is, and how long have you guys been working together?
About 3 years now.
So, one, that's awesome because he knows your body, so that's really cool. Two, you guys have progressively gotten better. And if you haven't seen Amber, at least since I've seen you at the Western Regional progress to now into your pro card, I've watched your physique go and go to that level, you know what I mean, from 3 years ago to now. So I commend both of you guys. You're doing the right thing anyways, and you're competing. And I don't see you out competing in a whole show after show after show. So is there something behind that where you're being selective as far as when you compete, or just when you feel like you're ready?
Yeah, it's mostly when I feel like I'm ready. Like I said, it's so hard on the body to do show after show. I mean, this past year was the first time I did 3 shows almost back to back. And I think I'm going to do another one here. So
right.
Yeah, to do my pro debut at the Europa. So
the one here in Phoenix?
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. I'll actually be there with Pro Sups, and we'll be there watching, so I'll be interested to see it. And to talk about her pro card, which again is just a huge accomplishment, so that has to be something that you're very proud of right now.
Oh my gosh, it doesn't feel real.
Right.
It doesn't, because that was from getting on stage, for the very first time, 2008, and placing, 4th place, was oh man,
right.
I can do this.
Right.
I'm so addicted. I'm ready to do this. And for it to happen 6 years later, which is awesome because I've learned from each show I've ever done.
Right.
So for those that get their pro card super fast, I commend you for that. That's awesome. But it means so much to me that after all of these years and seeing my body grow, that I did this.
Right.
And like I said, words can't explain the feeling that I felt up on stage.
Well, I'm very envious. I hope that I get that attachment.
Yes.
And with that, you said a couple things that I want to touch on real quick, and I think that this goes for a lot of ladies that are competing and up and coming. You said 6 years. 6 years is relatively a short time still in this sport to get your pro card. And yes, there's a few people that will go out there and get their pro card in a few shows, and God bless them, they're able to do that. And not just, I think, genetics, but they have everything that falls in line for them at that particular time. But 6 years, and the reason I want to talk about that is to encourage others to understand that it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter what you do, you have to be committed to this for the long run, wouldn't you say, if you truly want to become a pro? And so she's put in 6 years, and that overwhelming feeling, I can just imagine after, the time, the stress, the sacrifices, here you are. So congratulations again. You talked a little bit about pro debut. Since you brought it up, let's just get right into it.
Yeah.
You're considering doing the home show here at the Europa.
Mm-hmm.
It totally makes sense to me to do it, and I mean, you're close, so talk to me a little bit about that. Tell us a little bit what has made you decide, other than being home, What's made you decide? Did you talk with Patrick about this and you guys kind of decided? Or?
I did. We decided since, I just got done with USA's last weekend, stay pretty lean. Have a little bit of an off season, for the week, but get right back on it probably tomorrow. So, because 11 weeks, I think it's on Saturday, Friday or Saturday. Because it's Saturday, Sunday show, I think.
Yes, it is. It's a two-day show.
It's a 2-day show, yeah. So, and, we discussed it. We're like, well, might as well get my feet wet. And, I just want to show my appreciation as far as getting my pro card. Like, I mean business, and I'm serious, and I love it. And this is what keeps me going every day. Getting up, doing, having to do my morning cardio and training hard. Like, I love it. And a lot of people don't love it. So that's what makes us different.
No, and I agree with you. I think that you have to love this, number one. You have to love what you're doing because, I mean, even to try to fit it all into even normal life is difficult. And going out and getting your feet wet, I think, is a good idea. Driving over here, I was thinking, what pro out there can I think of just off the top of my head that reminds me a lot of your body and how you progressed? And I immediately think of the girl that walked in here, Alicia Coates, because Alicia Coates just walked into the gym when I was walking in, and so I look at your physique and I see a lot of balance. So that to me is going to push you a long ways, and I'm like excited to see you on stage come the Europa.
Thank you.
A couple other things I like to talk about outside of just the sport itself is, as a woman, we get women that view the show, and I want to kind of get your perspective on what are the challenges for you as a woman, also as a competitor, getting your pro card, competing, doing all the things that that has to be in this lifestyle. I mean, what do you do to stay focused? What do you do to stay motivated? And how do you find balance in life outside of just this sport?
Gosh, really, honestly, it's everyone has time. And I know a lot of women have kids.
Right.
I at one point had 3 jobs and I had 1 day off every 2 weeks. And that still wasn't even technically my day off. I'm still in the gym. So technically I have 4 jobs because this is a job.
Yes, it really is.
So I just say take each day by day and, make sacrifices. If you want it bad enough, you'll do it. And yeah, like I said, it's hard for us women because when we get close to showtime, we tend to get a little body fat and everything like that. So, things start to change a little bit, and that's why it's super crucial to have a really good off season as well, and gain back your weight a little bit, and of course muscle.
Sure.
You gotta get the muscle.
Of course.
But yeah, like I said, it's just if you want it bad enough, you'll do it, and you'll make time for it.
No, and I think and I agree with you. I think that everybody has a story, and you've got to try to fit these things into life, and putting life and bodybuilding and all that stuff in perspective. I don't necessarily know that everything is always about competing, and competing's not for everybody. But trying to find a goal or something to wrap your head around to keep yourself in the gym, I think is very important. So again, I think it's nice to see another Arizona girl here, and also to be able to pass the message to other women that it's obtainable. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
28.
So 20. I mean, she's still very, very young, and especially in this world. You've got the next 7 years minimum to compete probably as a competitive pro. So you'll continue to get better. This is going to be good for you. What do you do for a living outside of the bodybuilding? I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions. Just let's know who Amber Crowder is outside of being an IFBB pro.
Yes. Well, I actually have 2 serving jobs right now. So I basically work in the morning and work at night. I'm currently now getting into personal training. So I start that on Wednesday at Anytime Fitness.
So let's talk real quick. Let's talk about it. So you're going to start training your own clients?
Mm-hmm.
So since we're here in front of the camera, let's do this. How can people get a hold of you? If somebody wants to be trained by the IFBB Pro, new IFBB Pro, and obviously the girl knows what's going on because look at her, she's in great shape and she's a pro.
Thank you.
So to quickly tell the people, how can we get a hold of you?
Well, that's being, obviously I still have to get a business card and get the website up and going.
Sure.
So right now I'm at Lindsay and Pecos. So that's where the gym is. I can't really just give myself.
Do you have do you have an email address or something that someone might be able to drop a line to you if they are interested and maybe start to set something up with you, regardless if it's in a week or 2 weeks? But what's your email address, and maybe we get
Yeah.
some people out to you?
Absolutely. My email address is ambercrowder7@yahoo.com.
Cool. You guys heard it, ambercrowder7@yahoo.com. Hit her up. New training services coming up. She'll go over. I'm sure she probably has a plan and all the good game work to to get you guys dialed in. And I encourage more women trainers, to be honest with you. I think that you guys physically go through different stuff than men when you're dieting, especially as you get leaner. And that brings up a good question that I have, because I've changed over. I've been doing this macro dieting. Have you seen it?
Yes, I've noticed.
Okay.
Yes.
So I have to eat a lot of food.
Right.
And I help out a lot of people. I don't train people, but I feel like I help out a lot of people. And some are women, and you always hear that digestive issue, or you'll hear the bloating of the stomach or something in that manner. As a woman and competitor, how do you deal with that? Do you deal with that? I mean, do you deal with I know as all of us, men or women, as we get 5 days out, it's a different, your body just, and it's hard to explain it unless you've been there, but which you probably understand.
Right.
But how do you deal with, the digestive stuff? Is it enzymes? Is it, taking in fiber? What are you doing to help, help the digestive tract?
Really, honestly, I do a lot of water.
You do?
I do a lot of water to flush everything out. A lot of people tend to forget to drink.
Right.
So, and I don't do dairy or anything like that towards the end there. Take the fruit out because the fruit and sugars and stuff like that. But other than that, it's just a matter of getting that water down. And yeah, taking a digestive enzyme, yes, is really good to take too as well.
Right.
So.
Well, and we're gonna have some episodes coming up here in the next week with Tyler Mayer, who's doing the macros thing, and he had the OCB was yesterday.
Oh,
and the reason why I'm talking about it and I'm bringing it up in your interview is what I've noticed from it, and what a couple of women that I've switched over to it have noticed is there is no glow. It's kind of different. It's weird, and so if you ever get an opportunity to kind of look into it, and I don't know, we're going to find out, because I'm used to being conditioned for shows, and we're about 14, because I'm going to do the Felicia Romero show under those principles. So
Right.
we'll find out.
That's exciting,
Yeah, I'm nervous, but
to diet and not really feel like you're dieting, that's
well, there's balance in it. You know what I mean? I think is your guys' diet set up kind of like a typical?
No, I'm eating a lot of like whole eggs. And that's like not tradition for like contest prep. It's always usually like egg whites and fish and,
Sure.
and green beans
Right.
or something like that. Other than that, I do 7 whole eggs a day throughout the day, and steak at night. I eat my food. I eat about 110 grams of carbs a day. Obviously we kind of it lowers about a week out, and then
Sure.
carb load, so on and so forth. But other than that, really my goal for like the off season I would love to get my carbs up to 200, 300 grams of carbs.
Sure.
And that's with a lot about the with macros.
Right.
Adding slowly adding back in your carbs each week. I don't know if you know who BioLane is, or Lane Norton.
Yes, Lane Norton,
Lane
because
Norton
that's who
is-
Tyler. Tyler went and did a deal with him, like he spent some seminar time with him, and it's interesting. I'm still only at like about 250 grams of protein, but my digestive system is, and I think for guys we can get away with it a little bit better, but it's definitely, there's something to be said about, my carbs keep increasing, but my protein has stayed right around 240 to 250 grams of protein, which is relatively low for me, considering flipping it to the old school way that I'm used to, which is just the opposite. Yeah. Definitely different, but it sounds to me like the meal plan or the guidance that Patrick gives you is more about balance than it is about, hey, let me take this and this away and not give your body the things that it deserves.
Exactly.
And I think that's even where some of that flexible eating, and to me it seems like Patrick knows what he's talking about, because when you start eliminating things that the body wants, me on a personal level, I don't think that the body functions the same. Do you know what I mean? And I think the body wants carbohydrates and it wants simple carbs, and it wants the fats, and I think that you have to find a balance according to what your goals are and also what your body fat is. Like, I think for some women you can probably get away with 300 grams of carbs, you know what I'm saying, where some might not, and wouldn't you agree that that's just coming down to learning your body and wrapping yourself around somebody that also is aware of what they're talking about, you know, because a lot of things that I've seen, and maybe, you know, you can give me your thoughts on this, is, you know, a couple people will do a show, and all of a sudden they know how to diet people down, and they're doing, you know, they're putting somebody on a diet where they're taking away a bunch of stuff, and here we go with a big mess, you know, and you know, before you go out there and jump into dieting somebody down because you've done 1 or 2 shows, you know, take the time to put in 6 years where you're actually learning how your own body functions before you're trying to make somebody else's function, you know, a little bit different.
Exactly.
So, Phoenix Pro coming up, right around the corner. Personal training coming up, so that's going to be cool. You'll probably be flooded with clients. I imagine just your physique alone speaks for itself. Family, friends, those kind of people that help you get here. I know that, you know, I talk about it on the show quite often, but we can never do this alone. So who do you want to thank, or who is it that's helped you get from, you know,
oh my gosh,
2008 to now in IFBB Pro?
Like I said, you know, I can thank everyone. My grandma and grandpa, my wonderful boyfriend, my coach, Patrick Hughes, you know, my sponsor, Fortis, you know, all of my friends, especially coming up with the Arizona Open, I had so much support, so much support. My grandpa, who has never really seen me compete, actually was there because of his heart condition.
At the Open or at
the Arizona
Oh,
Open.
cool.
He couldn't make it out to the USA's.
Right.
But my other little grandma, on my mom's side, she, you know, saw me win my first overall in 2012, and it just melted my heart.
It's
you know,
awesome.
She's, you know, and my aunt, she's been to every one of my shows,
Oh,
even
really?
out of town.
Oh,
you know
cool.
what I mean? They all travel for me, and you know, it was unfortunate that I lost my mom in 2009, but that was actually in the middle of my prep.
Right.
And if it wasn't for competing, I don't think I would have
To get through it.
honestly.
That's, you know, and that's really a big deal, you know what I mean? And it's hard to go through, and again, I talk about this all the time. It's not necessarily bodybuilding that's difficult. There's a mental challenge, I think, that comes along with it, and attached with that is what we call life. And I say this time in and time out, and that's just, and you can attest to it, obviously, that's where you have to find, how can I balance, you know, my passion with life. But also it helps out so much as a therapy, you know, and I've used bodybuilding and competing as a therapy to get through things in life, like the loss of a loved one or stress things. And so, as Amber can attest to myself, I think it's important, you know, there's much more than just getting a nice body from working out. And so if you're not at that, or you're afraid to, you know, step into a gym or something, you know, contact Amber or a trainer that, you know, that has knowledge that, you know, can guide you into those, because you're not just into, now when you go with your training thing, and I'm kind of all over the board, so you have to bear with me, you're not just going to train competitors, you're open to training anybody, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. And Anytime Fitness is set up towards a smaller gym, and it really just kind of, it's more or less like one-on-one.
Right.
There's not very many people in that gym.
Sure.
So it's really awesome for people who are getting started, who are a little bit scared about being, you know, come walking into an independence gym where you have all these weights and you have no idea what to do with them, and machines and stuff like that. That's just, it's intimidating.
Well, and it is, and I think that as us as people and competitors, we're so used to it that we take that for granted, we look past that. But you're right, it truly is very intimidating for people, and I get more of a perspective of that the more I help out people that really aren't, you know, gym savvy, so to say. Anybody else you want to thank?
Oh my gosh. You know, like I said, all of my fans and friends on Facebook, like, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have gotten on stage in July for the Arizona Open and shoot for the USA's. It's just, you know, after junior nationals, it was kind of like, oh gosh, you know, I didn't do as well as planned, and it was going to take some time off then, and people were like, no, keep going, you're there, and I got some feedback from the judges, and I'm like, all right, you know, and just for this love and support from everyone who follows me, I appreciate it, and I can get emotional right now. I was
it's all good.
emotional, but I
It's
really appreciate everything.
No, that is so good, and it truly is. It just goes to a testament about how much, number one, that you're a real person, and you put that energy off Two, that it truly takes, it's an individual that stands up there, but it takes a team to be at the level, to get to this level. And so whether you're starting up in this or you're at the national level, surround yourself by people that truly care about you and your best interest. Because not only will they be able to share in your memories, but you're gonna grasp more than just having them view you. They're going to grasp a hold of, they're going to be a piece of that IFBB, that journey to become a pro. So, loved ones, we appreciate you all. Real quick before we get out of here, I'm going to do a quick couple questions for you. So just shoot off the quick answer that comes to your head. Growing up as a kid, what did you want to be?
What did I want to be? I wanted to be a nurse.
A nurse?
A nurse, yeah.
I think all little girls want to be either a nurse or something, a secretary, a librarian, right? Very nice. Favorite food?
Pizza.
Okay. Favorite color?
Pink.
Very nice. Okay, now this one's going to challenge you. In your best MC voice, tell me the Amber Crowder pro debut placing. And this is gonna end our episode today. So, if you were the MC at the show at the Europa,
okay,
the top five. Tell me where Amber Crowder, ladies and gentlemen, your top five, and Amber Crowder falls
in second and first. They don't know who they want. So, audience, who do you want?
You guys heard it right there. She's calling it out, a battle between first and second. Who will it be? We reach out to the audience. Well, Amber, I want to thank you very much for coming on the show. I appreciate it very, very much. We all look forward to seeing you, especially I think all the local athletes. It's always awesome to see people from Arizona turning pro. The Europa coming up, guys. It's roughly 3 months right around the corner. We'll see this young lady on stage, and I am predicting a top 5 finish. To be quite honest with you, you have the physique and the genetics to be able to be one of the top, and I think you're going to continue to move forward. So congratulations again. Thank you for the time on the show. Look forward to the interview, guys, with Amber. Look forward to her being on the show. I want to thank my sponsors, Pro Subs, Six Pack Bags, Independence Gym, Hot Bods Clothing, My Oatmeal, all you guys, Lana's Egg Whites. Thank you all for helping the show go. Again, there's much more things coming on with the show. Look for the updates with the Macro Mike update going into the Felicia Romero Western Regional. And thank you all. Stay tuned. We'll be back.